Educators that are really focused on each individual student will understand that each individual student might need something different. Not all the time, because you certainly can't teach 30 different lessons in one lesson, okay? But just occasionally, individuals will need a different approach, they'll need a different method of doing their work, they'll need to see something, they'll need to hear something, they'll need to do something practically, and all of those things will just help that student think that actually they're at the centre of the lesson and not on the edges, and I think that's really useful.
You've got to understand the things that the students are finding difficult, so you've got to be diagnostic in terms of your assessment. You've got to understand the progress that students are making and the sticking points. What are the things that holding the back students from being able to go to the next level, to access a higher grade or whatever, and what strategies can you develop to help those students make those improvements. I think inevitably, if you're teaching a subject which is part of a kind of public examination, you need to understand the syllabus. You need to understand what is it that enables a student to access each of the grades that are available. And a lot of that information can be gleaned from things like examiners' reports. So make sure every year you get the examiner's report, go through it with a fine-tooth comb. That's a mine of information for letting you know about common mistakes that students are making, common misconceptions that they have, and so on. And also there's a question level analysis, which is very often available as well, which will actually give you feedback from the exam board on things your students did well, things your students were weaker on, and compares how they've done with the national cohort as well. So you can get a really kind of forensic breakdown of the strengths and weaknesses that appeared through the examination to go alongside your own kind of internal monitoring as well.
The only place to start, I think, is to know or to find out why each student isn't improving. So for example, if you've got a student who's on a grade 3 for GCSE maths, what aspects of the course that are required for a grade 4 in the mark schemes, etc., can't that student do at the moment? If you don't know what's blocking them, it's unlikely you'll shift them. Now, the second point after that, of course, is if you do know what's blocking them, it's forensically thinking, well, what is the best thing I can do to help support them, and how do I need to get them to practice those skills that are currently lacking, so that next time they do a mock exam or whatever, they'll feel more confident about whatever that was and perhaps overcome it. I think you've got to start again with the child and why they're not currently on the next higher grade. And I used to say to the teachers in the school, every time you give students feedback, it's got to be, you are not on the next higher grade because. So that almost, I didn't really care whether every spelling was corrected and so forth. I wanted them to summarise why and how they might get the next grade next time.